Hello and welcome in lane review. Let's see what these players are doing and why it's smart or it's not as smart as this should be for players in Grandmaster or High Master Elo. This game is from EUNE and it's around that Elo, so we should expect from them to know their matchups. So always what we do before the game, we wanna determine who's stronger and on what conditions. His condition is to just simply stay on someone with his rage and then out damage them, and her condition is resetting auto attacks, getting some value from the shield from the passive. And if we will compare both of them, in most cases Camille will have very nice time trading when she's having passive up, because Trynda will be having hard times getting through that. But in order to get a shield, she needs to auto attack him. So if Trynda is staying here and she's approaching the bushes, he can literally take it off for free, and now she's down with her health. He also took her bone plating, so okay, you might say this is not the greatest moment for the Camille, but if she will just leave, it will be much better. But let's take a look what happens next, because the funny thing happens. Minions are already approaching the lane, like they're entering the lane, and Camille makes a huge mistake, because Tryndamer's cooldown is still up and she looks for a trade. He can simply E and auto attack her and leave. And she's like, oh, I want to trade back, but she's making a huge mistake. Not only did she receive damage, but also she wasted her shield, which has 18 seconds cooldown on the first level. And when the minions are there, and the condition about, okay, if we stay on top of each other and you cannot really run, I'm gonna have better trade because my shield keeps me up. Now she's not having a shield, so that condition is no longer true, so she will be losing trades. And look, she's not respecting Trynda. With shield, she could do that. She could be a little bit more brave in the lane, let's call it like that. But now she cannot, and she's still walking forward. And look, the lane just started and she's already over 200 health down. And it's not gonna get better. Why? Because she doesn't have her shield. Whenever Trynda goes into her, well, she will have a problem because she has to run. She's already lower on the health, so even if they equally trade, Trynda will slowly but surely kill her. And the only thing that could save her is Jarvan going top. But in most cases when your jungler starts on the red buff, he will not be ganking top early, so she's really disrespecting Trynda, especially knowing that the Camille is relatively weak at the first level. So let's see what happens next. Like, she's running away, which is fine because she needs to respect, and Tryndamer's cooldown is coming back up after 12 seconds. If you don't know the cooldowns, check them before the game. It will take you like 10-15 seconds once you get the site, and you can pin the list of the champions and just Ctrl+F and search for them. But now, if she would know, she would never walk up like this. But what is she doing? She's just going forward, and Tryndamer can simply go on her. The only thing I would differently is going slightly towards the right as Tryndamer, and to make sure that I secure more auto attacks. And now she's like, what the hell do I do? If only I would have my passive, I could trade with him back. But now she can just Q him once, but that still looks terrible. So after what Trynda did, he gains the full control over the lane. So Camille has a really hard time playing. So now he can zone her very easily, and he has E already, so if she comes too close, which she does again because she's not tracking his cooldown of his E, well, he goes in, attacks again, and she wastes, and she's doing the same thing with the passive again. She just auto attacks him, trading back and being like, oh yeah, I need to trade back, and that's not a good idea, because right now you are low on health, you don't have your passive. So on the next cooldown, he can simply go in. What you want to do is you want to let him push, and you want to just make sure that you can farm without losing too much health. And right now, look again. We got the E coming up from the Trynda, and she's coming closer. And the thing is, why would you come closer if you see this many minions pushing into you? Like, okay, maybe you will lose this one, but you will have very easy access to the rest of them. And if you will lose more and more of your health, you will have very hard time laning, and you will have to use your TP. And of course, you can use it that way, but does it make sense to approach closer for this minion without taking it, right? Because she didn't take it, but she took the damage for it. That's like so bad. The only positive thing for her could be that he used the E to damage these 3 minions. But is it really worth versus Trynda with this much rage? If he crits us, it really hurts. So right now, what Trynda wants to do, he wants to make sure that the wave will crash over the turret. Why? Because if the wave will crash, it's a guarantee that it will start pushing back towards his side. And if that happens, well, Camille is losing. And imagine the situation right now is where Trynda has few minions right over there, and it's pushing towards him, and whenever Camille's approach closer, he just goes in and he just kills her because of his W, because of his ghost, because of his flash, etc. She can flash away, she can E away, but that's one-time thingy, and if the wave will remain pushing into Trynda, she will never be able to approach the minions. But Trynda does a mistake here, and he's pushing really slow. He's waiting for the last hit, thinking that he has enough time, but, well, he's not calculating his time properly. So, how you wanna calculate this time? Well, look at the timer. In one of my short videos, I introduced you guys to 25-55 rule, and every time there's a 25 or 55 on the timer, minions will be entering the lane. Right on top, it looks like here, they're slightly forward than on the top, but it's very similar. Here, minions are entering, as you can see, right there, and here you can see they are entering as well. In the middle it's 22 and 52, and now they're a little bit later, and yeah. And now we have a big problem, because Camille is unable to play the game, but thanks to the Trynda, she's literally hugging her turret and farming the minions, so he cannot really pressure him that much. So what he wants to do? Well, now he needs to wait, and he's being exposed really hard. Of course he can take some of the trades, but it's much more dangerous for him to do it. Now, we wanna respect Camille's passive, because, well, the rule still applies. If she has the passive, she's relatively strong. She's low on health and Trynda will out-sustain her, but if she will take good trades, it's still possible to do something with it. So right now, yeah, that's exactly what you wanna do. She used her passive, but she also went in versus so many minions. So like you can see, like it's still not so good, but because Trynda messed up wave management, that's what's happening for him, and he's the one being zoned out, he's the one struggling, she's denying the cannon for him and making pretty nice combo, but again, you don't want to be too aggressive because you are in a losing position. First you get hit by the minions, which is already not the greatest thing, and let's take a look on it again. Because yes, I want to deny you cannon, but I don't want to lose too much health. So this is really greedy, going back for that one more auto, going back for that W. No, we don't want to do that. We want to move back after denying a cannon. Like, take a look on this again. This, right, she has all of the spells, she's not having the passive though, so she needs to be careful. Goes for the cannon, we bounce him back, we attack him, but we click back already. Because if you will stand on him and you will attack him, you are like, hey, but I'm winning with you. But the thing is that you are not winning. You need your passive. This is Trynda, right? So this, if he walks away, because he might be scared, he might be like, okay, I don't want to fight in between the minions, the wave will push to me, or anything. Like he's not, or he doesn't want to use the E, he's not having enough rage. He's got a good reason not to fight here, even though he has a potion in his inventory. Well, Camille has a cookie, so it's more than fine for her as well. So we can find positives for both of them. Well, I don't like that cannon is focusing on that Camille because it will deal so much damage to her. But now you step back. You don't go in. You took a good trade, you denied him a cannon, but you are in a losing position. So you don't want to lose any additional health, and you need to remember that Trynda, he wants to E forward. And if you will step too far away from the turret, you are no longer protected by that. So that's why this is so bad. Like, you never want to have Trynda on top of you while he still has his E, because you get auto, you get E, and you got auto again. And now Trynda just didn't E far enough, which he could do already, because the wave will be pushing anyway, and he can damage the minions anyway with that. And if you use your AoE spell on enemy champion, it will not aggro, so the aggro would be taken only from the auto attack that would follow it up, but Camille will be so low that it wouldn't be a problem for him. Right now, what he wants to do is he wants to wait. Why? Because Camille is so low and the minions are pushing in, so I would use some opportunity, if there will be one, to shrink the wave a little bit to get rid of maybe these 3, because by the time I get rid of them, they will be already pushing really hard. And the problem right now occurs for Camille because she needs to go back. She needs to find the TP, so after this wave, she wants to get back, and as fast as she can, she wants to do something, but not trading. Trading looks like it's okay, but now she cannot go in, and it's getting problematic because once Trynda gets his E back, which is in 3 seconds, he still has flash and ghost and everything, and she's not having her passive, not having her E, so she's just baiting herself into the fight. Like, I don't know what the hell is this idea to come up here, because, well, again, you can count. Like, if you don't know the cooldowns, you can literally count and it's gonna benefit you so much. And I don't care you have level 4. That's not how it's gonna work. You're gonna auto-attack the minion, so you have low attack speed, you can just auto-E, and now you have to flash. Like, this ghost is relatively weird, and it's a little bit greedy, but it's still fine. Why it's greedy? It's because Camille's Q gives her movement speed, so it's hard to catch up her without getting into the tower's range. Like, we have to remember all the time, like, yeah, there's a tower, it's not moving anywhere. And look, wave is pushing towards the Trynda, so if he has ghost, and again, if we move towards this position here, where the Trynda is actually holding the slow push, or more likely where Trynda is pleasing her, he can then ghost when she messes up and follow her through all of the lane, because, well, that's what ghost is meant to be on the laning phase as well. Like, it's one of the best things to chase the enemy throughout the entire lane and just kill him for his mistakes. But now Trynda makes it a little bit greedy, he wastes it, and Camille is making a mistake as well for not recalling earlier, because she needs to go back. Like, you will never approach anything here, like, even with your passive, that will be like really flippy. And do we want to flip the game already? Like, we can TP safely and this guy will be struggling a lot, but she's wasting her time and she's delaying it by a lot. And now, if she's not trying to push it as fast as possible, it gets problematic. And if she would TP back earlier, which could be achieved by recalling few seconds earlier, she would be able to deal more damage to the minions. Because, well, let's take a look at this again, right? Like, here you might say, yeah, but it's hard to damage the wave here. Like, all right, yes, but recall, right? Take this last hit if you need it for an item or something, but take this last hit and recall. You cannot enter. If you could enter, then all right, but you cannot enter. You don't have any sustain anymore. And if you will go back and TP, you can manage the wave the way that you will be able to crush it on time. But if you will not do this, if you will be like, yeah, I need to take as many last hits as I need, then you will burn the flash like she does here. And then, look, like, nothing to do. Like, she cannot do anything. Trynda matches the recall, which is a very good play from him. And you see that, oh right, minions will be there in how much? 25-55 rule, right? 5 seconds. No way that these minions are getting under the turret in the 5 seconds, because these two are still alive. And this is way too deep. And what happens with the wave is that it's not crushed. So at this position, you got the entire cannon wave. And by the way, how you can remember when cannon minions, they are on the lane at 230, 400, 530, 700, like, you know, every 90 seconds, 830, and 10. And until minute 15. But 10 first minutes is more than enough for you to remember. And right now, well, she's exposed. Trynda got the recall, kinda for free. He's not losing many minions from the red side. Some of them he loses. But right now, well, how to play the game? Nothing to do as Camille. She just has to wait. because if she will go forward, well, then she's gonna get chased by enemy jungler. And who would have thought that jungler will gank lane like this, right? And all this because she was like, hey, I need to farm more minions and I don't need to recall. After this trade, boom, 1, 2, and recall. And that solves all of the problems. You can now farm, you can do anything you want, and you are not vulnerable for the jungler, and most likely, I will repeat that again, the wave would crash under the turret, and that way we would get a bounce, which means that no matter what Camille would do, the wave would be pushing to her, so eventually she would be able to hack the turret and farm the minions in the much safer place. She didn't really respect her enemy and respect the cooldowns and the wave management, so she got punished for that. That's it for this video. Please let me know in the comments what do you think about this kind of reviews, and if you find this useful, then stick around. I got more.